We're on the record in the case of Taraki versus Shaw, D565672. Your name, please.
Joe Houston, bar number 1440 for Mr. Taraki, who's present.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Taraki. Will you raise your right hand and be sworn in, please?
Yes.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is accurate, to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can be seated.
Say your name.
My name is Alexander Taratsky.
And where do you live?
I live in Henderson, Nevada.
Okay. And it's true that, let me get her name. Ava Taraki is your daughter, you're the father?
That is correct.
And the mother is Shishara Shah?
That is correct.
And Exhibit A, which we provided to the court, is a copy of a DNA test which was taken by the state of Ohio at a time where they were seeking to get child support from you, correct?
That is correct.
And that DNA test came back that 99.99% you were the father, correct?
That is correct.
And pursuant to that DNA test, the state of Ohio actually issued a child support order regarding the child, correct?
Correct.
But the state of Ohio did not ever enter any custody orders, correct?
That is correct.
In fact, this is the first case in which custody has ever been risen to a court, correct?
That is correct.
All right. So after living in Ohio, she moved here to the state of Nevada, correct?
That is correct.
And do you know approximately when she moved here?
She moved here in 2014.
14, okay. And Exhibit 3, which we provided the court, is a copy of documentation where she began kindergarten in August 29th of 2016 and completed kindergarten here in Clark County, correct?
That's correct.
At the Mark Fine Elementary School.
That is correct.
And then also in August of 2017, she began school for first grade here, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And during that period of time, you were seeing your daughter, having a relationship with your daughter, correct?
That is correct.
And then in November of 2017, there became a time where when you would take the daughter back, there were problems, correct? Like the daughter was really acting out to go back with her mother?
She was acting up, not wanting to go back to her mother. She wanted to stay with us.
Okay. And you just brought that up to the mother, is that correct?
That is correct.
And at that point in time, based upon that, that statement, she ceased any contact with you and the child, is that correct?
That is correct.
Then you informed her beginning in December that you were going to move down to Las Vegas so you could have, because you were living in Rena at that time, correct?
That's correct.
So you can move to Las Vegas to have a more substantial relationship, is that correct?
Correct.
And so at that point in time, after you informed her of that, and the records show, on December 1st, 2017, the same day you brought that up to her, she pulled the child out of school, is that correct?
That is correct.
And she left the state, is that correct?
Correct.
And how did you find out where she went?
I found out where she went because I have a good relation with her father.
Okay. And you found out from her father that she had gone to the state of Ohio?
That's correct.
And she remained in the state of Ohio for about a month, sometime into January, correct?
Correct.
And in January, did her father inform you again that she had returned to the state of Nevada?
Correct. So I called to get an address of where she's staying in Ohio, and at that time her father informed me that she actually moved back to Las Vegas.
Okay. So did you confirm that with the school, that she was back here? That your child was back here? I'm sorry.
Correct.
But during all this time, in the time she went to Ohio, did she provide you with any do you have any way of contacting her, speaking to your child?
I don't.
What did she do?
She blocked my phone number, and my daughter has an iPad, and she blocked all of my contacts on my daughter's iPad as well.
And has that continued to now?
Still today.
Okay. So once we knew she came back again, you had contacted me to file this petition, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we filed this petition, and we attempted to serve it on her at her place of employment pursuant to the affidavit of service of my process server, licensed who's lawyer process server, correct?
Correct.
And after being informed that we were trying to serve her at work, she took off again, and then from her father, you understand, she's living out of state again,
Correct. Correct.
And since then, again, she's totally cut off any contact that you have with the child and even with her. You don't even know if you're getting her, correct? All right. And we had an email for her, which we submitted, that's in our order, in our default. She had an email of tashara.shaw@yahoo.com, correct?
That's correct.
And pursuant to that, the order for publication, we were to send a letter to her father, the pleadings to her father, to send it to her last known address, and also send it to this email address, correct?
Correct.
And MOPS has done that, correct?
Correct.
All right, and we've never had any contact whatsoever from her?
Zero.
Correct? All right. And you're just asking the court at this point in time, which is set forth on page 3 of the order, to issue a temporary order that gives you sole legal and physical custody of the child, that says that once you obtain custody of the child, you'll notify the judge here that we have custody back, so she can set further court dates and make further rulings, correct?
Correct.
And we've also asked, because she's intentionally tried to withhold the child from you, that pursuant to NRS 125C0055 subsection 2, that law enforcement agencies assist you in obtaining physical custody of your child so you can come bring her back to Clark County, correct?
That is correct.
And it's your intention to remain in Clark County. You have a business you run in the state of Nevada, correct?
That is correct.
All right.
The paragraph on page 3, that in the event he obtains physical custody, he's to notify the court.
Right.
I need to put in the time frame.
Oh, okay. Do you want to interdelineate?
Yeah, is that okay?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Just 48 hours or something to give him time, that's fine.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, we have.
If you pick up the child, sir, we have
We're
to
just
have
trying to, in good faith, get him some contact with his child, even if he doesn't have primary, or even if it's joint, whatever. I mean, again, it's been a nightmare for him to lose his child like this.
For sure.
When you pick up the child, sir, we have to have a hearing within 48 hours, so you need to notify your counsel immediately, and we'll set a
Absolutely.
hearing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Based upon your testimony and child having resided in the state of Nevada for most of 2017 and then for 1 month in 2018, it appears that no other jurisdiction would be the child's home state other than the state of Nevada, that both parents resided in the state of Nevada and the defendant removed the child from the state of Nevada without the consent of the plaintiff or a court order allowing her to relocate. So the court is ordering that you have temporary sole legal and sole physical custody for the purpose of obtaining custody of the child and returning to the state of Nevada, at which time we will have a hearing within 48 hours.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
I'm admitting your exhibit,
Okay, thank you.
and I signed the top one.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Let me just sign first.
Beautiful house out there this afternoon. Looks like
Every day.
Everything.
working now. I think maybe next door too, because